Hello everyone, this is the daily devotional video for April 10th, 2017. Our passage for today is in the book of Matthew. We're reading Matthew 14, 22 to 33. And this is one of my many favorite stories in the Bible, and one that's just so powerful if you really think about it. It's a very powerful story in the Bible. So in Matthew 14, 22 to 33. Immediately, Jesus made his disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up on a mountain by himself to pray. And when evening had come, he was alone there. But the boat was now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves, for the sea was contrary. Now in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went to them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, "It is a ghost," and they cried out for fear. But immediately, I love that, immediately, Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Be of good cheer. It is I. Do not be afraid." And Peter answered him and said, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." So he said, "Come." And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, "Lord, save me." And immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him, and said to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased. Then those who were in the boat came and worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Powerful story. The title for today's devotional is Walking with Jesus in a Storm. It was night. There were high winds, crashing waves, and low visibility. For the disciples who were on the sea in a small boat, the situation had reached crisis proportions, and Jesus was not with them. While they were dealing with the frightening weather, he was on the mountainside praying. In the midst of the storm, perhaps the disciples thought Jesus had forgotten them. However, he knew exactly where they were and what they were experiencing. Though we can't see Jesus physically, he is omniscient. He can identify where we are at every moment. No darkness can hide us. No trial can obscure his vision. We are always seen, known, and understood. Leaving that place of prayer, Jesus sought out the disciples, and he will do the same for us. However, the 12 didn't recognize him because he went to them by walking on the water. Jesus often does not come in the way we expect him to. Our preconceived ideas of how he works can make us wonder where he might be and can blind us to how near he actually is. Experiencing Jesus' presence in hard times can teach us precious truths. During an earlier rough sea adventure, the disciples had observed both Jesus' trust in God and his authority over nature, reference here to Matthew 8, 23 to 26. In the latest storm, they watched the Lord walk on water, and they saw one of their own do it too. Through the storms, they learned who Jesus was, what he could do, and what their own potential was. When turmoil hits, let's ask for spiritual eyes to discern the Lord's presence. Then we must listen for his voice and obey. reference to John 10:27. And I want to just, I realize this is going to be, extra, but I just want to go through that passage again. There's two things I want to point out to you guys that maybe, if you're just, hearing me read these words, it may not hit you like it hit me, like it hits me every time I read this passage. But just a couple things I want to point out to you guys. Excuse me. Okay, so verse 22, he made his disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side of the shore, while he sent the multitude away. He went up on the mountain by himself to pray, and when evening had come, he was alone there. But the boat was now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves. There's a big storm coming up, big crashing waves, maybe 40-mile-an-hour winds, maybe more than that. The boat's just getting battered about, okay? In the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went to them walking on the sea. And of course, you're not expecting Jesus to come walking to you on the water. It's like you're not expecting that. He's a guy. I mean, even though they knew he was Messiah, he's human. You step on water, you're going to sink in the water. So for him to come walking to them on the surface of the water, I would be freaked out too. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, "It is a ghost," and they cried out for fear. Right here, verse 27. I love this. But immediately. That's the key word I want you guys to grab today. Immediately. But immediately. Jesus didn't just stand there and say to the people, they should know it's me. He didn't stand there wait for them to calm down. He didn't delay. He didn't just stand there on the water and say, they're just being so silly. They should know it's me. Immediately. Okay? Immediately. Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Be of good cheer, it is I. Do not be afraid." And Peter answered him and said, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." So Jesus said, "Come." And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. He walked on the water. Peter walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid. And beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, "Lord, save me." And here we go again, immediately. Verse 31. And immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him and said to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" And there's so many lessons in that. I want to pull up. There's two main ones I just feel like I need to just get out. One is that when Peter started to sink, again, Jesus could have delayed. He could say, "Come on, Peter, you can do this. Come on." Or you just don't have any faith. I don't know why I'm wasting my time with you. Jesus immediately grabbed him up and said, "Oh, you of little faith." And that's a lesson to us that if we're looking at, Peter was doing good when his eyes were on Jesus. And that's a really good metaphor. When his eyes were on Jesus, when he was looking at the Savior, he was fine. But when he took his eyes off Jesus and saw the waves crashing around him, saw the boat being kind of battered and beaten up, felt the wind almost knocking him over, his focus went off Jesus and onto his circumstances. And that will wreck you every time. Listen to me. That will wreck you every time. The minute you take your eyes off Jesus and put it on anything else, I don't care what it is, you're going to sink. You're not going to be able to withstand it. You got to keep your eyes on Jesus. The second main thing I wanted to talk about, and I mentioned this already, but I'm going to hit it again, is the two times in verse 27 and verse 31. I'll read verse 27. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Be of good cheer, it is I, do not be afraid." And 31. And immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him. And there's a story I remember reading out of a devotional book I've since lost. And I wish I had the story to read to you because it was so powerful for me. And maybe it'd be powerful for you. But it's of a girl, it's a true story. This group of ladies wrote a devotional book. And it was about stories they'd all been through in their lives. And one of them when they were a little girl, they had to take swimming lessons. And they were scared. So the entire time they were taking these lessons, the instructor was in the water with them, right next to them, supporting them, making sure they were able to swim okay, kick their feet, breathe, paddle, all that stuff, making sure they were okay. But then she was fine when the teacher was beside her. She could swim and was fine. The teacher was right there to grab her. If anything happened, she knew it was no problem. But she was terrified of the day she would have to swim alone. Okay? Finally, the end of the class comes, and the kids are expected to swim a certain length of the pool by themselves. Each student by themselves. And so she's just thinking, I'm not going to make this. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm gonna start panicking. I'm gonna start just flailing around, and I'm not gonna be able to do this. I'm gonna go under the water. I'm not gonna be able to breathe. I can't do this. I'm scared. So before it was her turn to go in the water and swim, the teacher said, "Listen to me. I'm right here. I'm gonna get emotional. Sorry guys, was not expecting that. Teacher said, I'm right here. I'm like one step away from you. If anything happens, I will grab you and pull you out of the water so fast, you won't have time to even worry." She said, "You got this. You know what to do. I've watched you. I've been beside you every day. You know this. If anything happens, I'm right here." And so with her teacher giving her that bit of confidence that she could do it, it was her turn. And she was expected to get in that pool and swim and turn into the pool. And she was doing it. She was down there, she was swimming. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm doing it. And she hadn't even reached the end of the way she's supposed to, the end of the pool, whatever. She hadn't even reached it, but she felt something pulling her out of the water. And it was her teacher who just gave her a big hug and said, "I knew you could do this. I knew you could do this. That's Jesus. He's right to the edge of the pool saying, I'm right here, I've got you." Sorry. I'm right here, I've got you. You know what to do. I'm right here. I'm not going to let you fall. I'm not going to let you sink. I'm not going to let you, drown. I'm here and I've got you. And you can do this because I'm right here next to you, which during the whole thing, Jesus is there with us. Right here. I'm going to read this a little bit differently. I'm sorry this is a long devotional, but I just felt like I needed to get this out. Okay. I'm going to read that part again. Peter answered him and said, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." Jesus said, "Come." And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid. Let me change it to you. Let's say your name is Lisa. Lisa saw that she was about to lose her job, or her kid was becoming sick, or she had, wasn't able to pay her rent this month, or Lisa saw the circumstances. You see the circumstances around you. It may not be wind and waves. It could be a job. It could be a loss of income. It could be a death in the family. It could be a child or problems with your spouse. You fill in the blank there, okay? But when you see that your circumstances were dangerous, the wind was boisterous, and the waves were crashing around him, beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, "Lord, save me." And immediately, Jesus will stretch out his hand and catch you and say to you, "Oh, you full of faith, why did you doubt? I'm right here. I've got you. Yes, life is scary. Bad things will happen, but I've got you. You're never out of my sight. You're never beyond my reach. I'm not going to let you fall." I need to go. This video is way long, but just think about that, guys. Think about that. Jesus will never let you fall. But the minute you take your eyes off him and put it on anything else, that will be the downfall of you. Keep your eyes on him. He loves you. And he will never, ever let you fall. I'm going to go ahead and go. I love you guys. Have a great day. I will see you back here again tomorrow.